trusted name, cutting-edge technology, and a reimagined vision for your photography. Your next adventure begins with Fujifilm's latest X and GFX series lineup. Cameras that bring limitless creativity and lenses that add a whole new dimension to your images and videos. Today, we would be introducing exciting new products that will complement our existing comprehensive lineup of products. Let's explore each one of them. Stay tuned till the end for some early bird offers on these highly awaited products. Fujifilm has an extensive set of 35xf and X-E lenses that range from 8mm to 400mm, extendable up to 800mm. XF lenses are synonymous with build quality, durability and affordability. It's a collection of creativity-oriented lenses which complement the X-Trans CMOS sensor perfectly. The latest addition to the XF series are the new XF27mm 2.8 and XF70 300mm 4-5.6.
For street photography, I prefer a lens that roughly approximates the field of view of a human eye. This 27mm lens has a field of view of a human eye. I think is the best lens for the street photography. This lens is sharp, weatherproof and has a beautiful color rendering. Another advantage of this pancake lens is that it is not intimidating. You can blend in easily in the crowd and you are not actually shoving large lens onto the people faces.
In 2020 has been a challenge for everybody. I'm usually traveling the world photographing motorsport. I haven't been able to do anything. I can't travel, I can't do anything. So this year I've been forced to adapt. I've been looking for different photography projects to keep my spirits up and to also just become a bit more flexible with what I'm doing as a photographer. So I've photographed birds, I've photographed all sorts of flora and fauna. I used to race, I used to sail a long time ago in a different lifetime. So it was nice to get back out on the boats and chase them around Sydney Harbour on a beautiful day today. So the 70 to 300mm lens I was using was really good, really versatile. The zoom range helped quite a bit because obviously the boats, we couldn't tell when they were going to become much closer to us or going further away. So having that range was great. Fujinon glass is always of a high standard. It has such a great reputation in the industry and this lens is no exception. Even at the 300mm range, with all the distance between us on the boats, there was no loss of image quality. The glass is nice and sharp and it's crisp.
Compact, lightweight and weather sealed. XF27mm and XF70 300mm lenses have ultra-fast, near-silent, low-light focusing capabilities. XF27mm lens features an additional aperture ring with an auto-locking function. The lens covers the field of view of a human eye and offers a minimum focusing distance of 34 cm. The XF70 300mm telephoto lens provides optical image stabilization up to 5.5 stops. The lens offers an equivalent focal range of 107 to 457 mm with a minimum focus of 83 cm. These versatile and highly affordable lenses are available at Fujifilm flagship stores across India at ₹36,999 and ₹73,999 only. Introducing next is GF80mm 1.7 lens that brings our large format G-mount series to a total of 12 lenses ranging from 23mm to 350mm. The GF lenses are designed to unleash the potential of the high-resolution GFX series cameras, inheriting the optical technologies from the large format, broadcast and cine lenses. The GF lenses provide unrivaled image quality that professionals require.
This focal length, is definitely something that's more useful for portraits. I prefer to use autofocus with my subjects simply because I need to shoot faster, and the autofocus is very fast, it is very accurate. Image quality, the bokeh effect, which, the fall off, the sort of merging of the sharpness and the blurriness, it's a great blend. It's very smooth, and that's great for somebody who's, working with such cameras, producing such large format imagery. And so I think it's, I think the lens in that way performs really well. The outcome of the images and the quality of the images, the fall off is so smooth. It's quite spectacular to see in the camera, so I can't wait to see what it actually looks like in a print.
The new GF80 1.7 is an iconic lens that has the largest aperture in medium format system category with autofocus. It delivers impressive image quality while maintaining sharpness, contrast, and aberration control. The lens offers a minimum focusing distance of 70 cm and maximum magnification of 0.15x. It also features 9 rounded diaphragm blades that produce smooth bokeh and astounding separation between a subject and its background. This ultimate portrait lens is available at Fujifilm flagship stores across India at Rs 2,09,999. Once again, the cost of XF and GF lenses announced today is on your screen now. Moving on from lenses to cameras, Fujifilm X-E4 is a lightweight, rangefinder-styled camera with Fujifilm's iconic X-Trans CMOS 4 sensor and X-processor 4 technologies. Experience capturing more with one of the smallest and lightest X-series cameras ever made. Minimalism redefined. Let's find out. The 26.1 megapixel X-E4 camera delivers a high dynamic range and fast readout speed up to 30 fps. The updated AF system is capable of grabbing focus in about 0.02 seconds and can operate in low light conditions down to -7 EV. This camera integrates 18 film simulation modes, which mimic the look and feel of Fujifilm's classic analog film rolls. Fujifilm X-E4 lets you record high-resolution 4K movies that is oversampled from pure 6K data. You can even switch to Full HD mode and record at 240 fps to achieve a 10x slow-motion effect. Weighing only 364 grams, X-E4 is a fully loaded pocket-sized camera available at Rs 74,999 only for body, Rs 83,999 with accessories, thumb rest and metal hand grip, and Rs 91,999 with 27mm lens. Fujifilm has always set new benchmarks in photography by adopting new technology and keeping the photographer at the center. In 2017, we created GFX100S that set an industry benchmark by bringing accessibility to medium format system and making it easy for photographers to carry it around. With GFX100, the medium format got further enhancement in form of eased operations suited for various situations. Redefining professional photography, Fujifilm presents GFX100S, a compact, lightweight, medium format mirrorless camera. GFX100S is going to revolutionize the industry by allowing professionals to use medium format system for covering events, weddings, sports, nature and fashion photography. The GFX100S offers 102 megapixels of resolution with face detection autofocus points covering the entire image sensor at a much lower price. Let's see what our ex-ambassadors have to say about GFX100S.
The biggest difference that I've seen while using full frame camera and medium format is the dynamic range that it provides. There's so much that you can do in the post-production that I never thought that, this is even possible, having that kind of control in different part of the images. So that's really wonderful. Apart from that, the depth that it gives is far better than what a full frame would give. And yes, being an ardent fan of Fuji colors, the colors of medium format are crazy.
We wanted to create images around these classic cameras and the fashion of that era. At the same time, we experimented with contemporary styling using kitsch and noir elements. Besides the megapixels, medium format sensor has always had an edge over the full frame cameras.
As a photographer, I'm really agnostic when it comes to technology, but I have to say, using the medium format here, taking pictures of a bride, taking bridal portraits, the kind of quality that medium format gives you, it just blows you away. The first time you pick up the camera and you look at the images and you see what you've shot, and the fact that you can actually keep scrolling in and the kind of quality and detail that you see in the frame, it's absolutely mind-blowing, and it's something that once you go medium format, you just can't go back. Especially when I shoot bridal portraits, and being able to zoom in and see the details of the jewelry, see the details of the earrings and the neck pieces and things like that. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I think for this kind of photography, medium format is something that really blows you away.
As when it comes to finer details, it produces images which are exponentially superior in quality and dynamic range. 102 megapixel is a giant leap in technology, as it gives you the opportunity to get the maximum details possible out of a camera.
The real capabilities of this camera, this 102 megapixel, can come into life only when you print it and see the whole detail, the depth in a big print format.
It is amazing that technology has changed so much that you literally can take 100 megapixel image using a lightweight handheld camera and walk around and take that image again and again, and it is absolutely crazy. Now 100 megapixels as a photographer and as someone who started in the film era is something that was inconceivable, it was unimaginable, it was impossible. But now to have 100 megapixels at your disposal and being able to zoom in and go into that image and go into that detail, that is something that I think is one of the best things that technology has brought us, and it's one of the best ways in which technology has helped us as artists, as photographers, realize the kind of vision that we have and create something that is artistically unique.
GFX100S is certainly a game changer because of three things: the pixel, the sensor and the price. The price, I could never imagine 5 years back that I would have a medium format in my hands. Those cameras were over 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. So the price that what Fuji has brought in GFX100S is so affordable. The quality that you are getting at the cost, that is why it is a game changer. And of course, like I said earlier also, that certainly it is a camera that brings your vision into reality, and that is only possible because of the quality of the pixel and the sensor.
It's extremely lightweight for a medium format camera, making it the most agile in its category. with a price tag similar to a high-end full-frame camera, is the most affordable product for anybody wanting to graduate into the world of medium format imagery.
The GFX100, I think, is a game changer because it has literally democratized medium format photography. Now, what I mean by that is medium format was something that was in the past something that was reserved for an elite group of photographers who could afford medium format cameras, because let's face it, many medium format cameras were more expensive than a car, it's more expensive than a house, it's more expensive than what a lot of people can afford. So now today, being able to buy a GFX100 and be able to take those images back to your client and say these are medium format images, I think it is a game changer in terms of its price, in terms of its format, being able to hold that camera, being able to walk around with it, not being chained to a tripod all the time, and that is something that I think will change the landscape of professional photography using medium format.
GFX100S carries 44x33mm large imaging sensor that combines 16-bit RAW files to create a single 400-megapixel image, reproducing the finest details with ultimate color accuracy, offering 3-way tilt LCD, 425 phase detection autofocus points. With 6-stop IBIS unit, GFX100S provides ultimate image quality beyond full-frame system. GFX100S has a USB-C port for high-speed image transfer, a micro HDMI port to connect to an external monitor, plus a microphone input, headphone jack and remote shutter release connection. The camera can also be powered and charged via the USB-C port. It is loaded with improved face and eye detection and enhanced low-light focusing capabilities at -5.5 eV. The re-engineered X Processor Pro enables quick shooting speed up to 5 FPS. GFX100S large format imaging sensor isn't just limited to still imagery. Switch to movie mode and filmmakers can create natural-looking cinematic footage. It can record rich detailed 4K by 30p movies with a shallow depth of field, wide tonal gradation and impressive ISO sensitivity in either 10-bit F-Log or 12-bit ProRes RAW. The magnesium alloy construction makes GFX100S a weatherproof tool to capture your imagination. And all this comes at an price of Rs 5,39,999. GFX100S will be available at Fujifilm flagship stores across India on the first-come, first-served basis. Interested customers need to register on the link below. Well, if you book your GFX100S before 31st March, you can avail special introductory offers as you can see on your screen.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashwini Joshi, and welcome to the GFX100S and the other products, X-E4, all the change. So, with me today we have Arjun Kata from Together Studios, and Ashish Chawla, who is himself a big name in fashion and commercial photography. So, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I thank once again for all the viewers who are there for the last 20 minutes and
Details with ultimate color accuracy.
I request to please keep your writing your questions and answers, and we will give you answers whatever possible way. And about the GFX100 and other things. So I would Ashish-san, I would start with you. How was the launch? Have you seen that? Have you seen yourself? How was it? It was nice. I think it was nice.
Well, great. Thank you so much for having me over, Ashwini. It's been an honor to be a part of the Fujifilm family, and I'm so glad that you guys are doing so much for the brand and for the audience and for the users. I really like the approach Fuji's been taking with their photographers and the collaborations, the opportunities you're given the real end user to try out the camera and work around it. And having said that, as you know, I've been in the industry for the longest time, and I've grown up with large formats and medium format film cameras. So medium format was always the way to go for me. But the restrictions that a medium format would always offer would be, one, the weight, and two, the price. So I feel this camera is a massive game changer in both those aspects, and it's been a delight to work on this.
Yeah, thank you so much. Arjun, you have to unmute yourself. Yeah, hi Arjun. So you must have seen your video, amazing content. I think people will watch it as soon we finish this Q&A. You will see nice videos made by Arjun, and he's going to release it as a project. So Arjun, I would like to ask you, how was the experience overall with the GFX100S? And since you're coming from a wedding market, what do you think? This is a camera for wedding. How's a wedding market should perceive this as a camera? I think it's a game changer,
Oh, absolutely, Ashwini. In fact, I'm going to answer that in two parts. So how is the camera? Honestly, like Ashish just said, obviously I've been using a lot of, I started with film, I moved on to digital, moved on to DSLRs, and then, as we know, mirrorless. And medium format was always something that was aspirational. It was always something that was, way too expensive. And because I remember looking a couple of years ago at buying a Hasselblad or a Phase 1, and those start you literally need to sell 2 kidneys to be able to afford a medium format camera. But now, with this GFX100 and the GFX100S, I mean, honestly, I know it does sound expensive. I was looking at the comment section just now, and for everyone who's on the call, I mean, I know 5 lakhs does sound expensive, but trust me, 5 lakhs is cheaper than 20. The next other medium format camera which you can afford will be literally double this price. So it does sound expensive when you look at 5 lakhs in isolation, but honestly, I think it's a great deal and it's a great camera. Number two, for the wedding market, it is still going to be an expensive product. I mean, let's face it. But then again, there are many photographers out there who don't want to compromise on quality, who don't want to miss out on the advantages that a medium format sensor gives you. And I mean, for that niche market, I think this is a great camera and it's at a great price point.
Thank you. Before we go next questions, I would like to tell this that we also had one more guest, Harsheen Jammu. Unfortunately, she's busy today. She's shooting somewhere, so she could not join with us today. But she also a part of one of the projects we have done with the GFX100S, and you will see her video as well and her images as well. And I'm 100% sure she must be shooting some nice images right now. So we're gonna show that later. Okay. So the next question I want to ask Ashish sir. Ashish sir, as a studio and commercial, this camera, I would say like it's a blessing for a lot of people who want to utilize the camera as the medium format was always like a very high. People used to rent it out and people used to never been a camera which you own it. In fact, you yourself telling me a story that you used to rent for almost 10 years, and there was a huge amount you had to pay for the renting. So I mean, your thoughts on it?
Well, it wasn't for 10 years that I rented it out. It was within 13, 14 months I realized that I ended up paying 10, 12 lakhs to the person I was renting it from, where I could have bought the camera.
Yeah.
Back in the days, and this I'm talking when the dollar price was 38 rupees or 35 rupees. Now the dollar price being 75, I think this is like literally less than 1/4 the price you'd get like 30 megapixel back in those days. And that's just the digital back, not even the cameras. You use the digital back and put it behind a Contax or a Hasselblad or a Mamiya or one of those old film cameras. So in every possible way, I think this is massive leap for medium format photography. And being the user of a medium format photography and being the pixel peeker and the crazy detail crazy person I can be at times, I feel this is brilliant. The fact that it gives you the same agility as a 35mm DSLR, it's almost the same weight. At times it's lighter than some of the existing cameras in the market, both price wise and both weight wise and agility wise. The eye detect is astonishing. I mean, it's so fast. Like, I'm mostly shooting people. So my thing with most of medium format, my complaint with most medium format cameras was focus was like a pain. To get the focus right, you would miss the shots at times. They're moving around. You're changing lighting, you're shifting places. So the last thing you want is look at your images which are out of focus. And it's ironical when you're using such a big medium format camera and your images turn out blurred. So it totally defeats the whole purpose. So with this camera, I feel this is like kind of almost like a dream come true after all these years, where technology has come to a point where you can enjoy the whole delight, the magnificence of the, sorry, my tongue got twisted there, of the image quality at this price and this weight of a camera. So I think kudos. I'm like so glad that you guys have come up with this one.
Yeah, and also I would like to ask both of you guys, which are the your favorite lenses in GF format now? We have almost 12 different lenses and different category. Arjun, I will start with you. For the wedding photographers out there, I mean, a lot of people must be interested in, okay, camera to ban gaya, like what are the lenses we can go for? So what are the lenses? I mean, you recommend, and for this project you have used some specific lenses. So can you please tell us about that?
So Ashwini, I don't think I've had a chance to try all the lenses, but definitely the 3 lenses that I used for this project are absolutely a pleasure to work with. I think there was the 23 f4, which was a nice wide angle on medium format. I think that equates down to around 16mm in regular 35 full frame. Then there was the 45. I think the 45 was a 2.8 lens. I mean, that again is a really nice mid focal length for mid-range portraits and for sort of detail shots and things like that. And then I think my absolute favorite was the portrait lens, which I think is the 110mm f2. I mean, that is absolutely killer lens, brilliant detail, brilliant depth, brilliant bokeh and all of that. And then I think there was this 4th lens that was new, which I think Ashish had a chance to try, but I think wasn't available when I was doing my project. I think that was the 80mm f1.7, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, f1.7 on a medium format, I mean, that's absolutely mind-blowing. It's crazy mind-blowing. And I would have loved to use that lens. I'm definitely going to be getting that for myself whenever it comes out into the market, and I'm looking forward to that. But these 3 lenses, I think, are a great choice for wedding photographers, for any photographer actually. If you're a wedding photographer, if you're a portrait photographer, I think there's a great choice of lenses with Fujifilm, and that's, I think, one of the big advantages of owning the GFX system.
Yeah. Ashita, your point on it?
Well, let me tell you one thing, and exactly what I told Ashwini the other day. I said if I had to choose one lens, it'll be 80mm 1.7. It is such a beautiful, it's such a stunner, it's such a beautiful lens. It takes care of your portraiture, full lens, and the depth of field, of course. I mean, it's like creamy. I mean, you can just shoot in any light. Like I was freaking out with that lens. I would just point anywhere with the eye detector Fuji and the IBIS of the camera, Fujifilm and the IBIS and everything else. With that lens, I was shooting in situations I would never even dream of. You'd only see in feature films. Like somebody is like you'd see these films, because photography, when I started off, you would shoot on 100 ISO and maximum go up to a 400 ISO in terms of film. But now with the ISO getting better and with this lens, I think that's a game changer. If I had to recommend one lens, this is one lens anybody doing portraiture or people photography must have. And besides that, the 45 is 2.8 is amazing as well. And of course, they have 110 2.8 and 120 macro. So between 110 and 120 macro f4, 120 mm macro is f4 and 110 is 2.8. It's a tough decision to make. I personally feel for somebody who's more of a studio photographer, 120 will make more sense, because you do not care about that 2.8 here. And I feel 120 is slightly more sharp compared to other lenses, and it's a great lens you can do for use for beauty portraits as well.
Okay, now actually, if I just have to tell everybody that Ashish sir was one of the photographers who tested the 80mm very initial pre-production sample, and he did a fantastic job with the one of our project, which is going to be launched very soon. I think Anushka's video is already out, and his video also going to have a beautiful imagery, very nice, and I would say a cinematic look to the images. So please watch out and see on Fujifilm X India page as well. Both of you, now I have one more question. Full frame versus medium format. A lot of people talk about it. I don't want to get into too much, but I just want one view from it, like how you see that, because this now we are blurring the line, or I would say we are closing that gap between our medium format and full frame, because of the full frame technology has been reached to that level. But and Fujifilm has done such amazing development towards medium format that it actually closing that gap between. So how you see that as a photographers, and of course the price point and everything, it's also a huge matter, because now most of the cameras, our 50 megapixel cameras like 50S and 50R, they are actually a full frame price. It's available also. And so what do you think about that? And for a lot of people who are out there and they must be wondering about this part.
You want me to answer that first?
Yeah, Arjun, you can start.
See, honestly, Ashwini, I'm going to give you a straight answer. See, this entire, I don't subscribe to this medium format, full frame, crop sensor. I mean, this is a debate amongst photographers that has been going on for time immemorial. I myself used to be I think during my younger and more inexperienced days, I used to be a strong supporter of one camp or the other camp, and be like, full frame is good, or medium format is good, or this is good. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll tell you today that, this might not be the exact answer you're looking for, but I'll tell you that, it all depends on the kind of photographer you are, and it all depends on the kind of vision you have and the kind of images that you want to make. Now, there are a lot of photographers who make images with all sorts of cameras, right? But more to the point, there is no doubt that from a technology point of view, medium format is superior to full frame. There is no doubt, because medium format, the size of the sensor, the size of the detail, the amount of information the camera is gathering, the kind of output it gives you, the kind of quality the lenses have, because these are all different medium format lenses. So there is, and last but not the least, I would say the image size. Now, in a regular full frame camera, you're used to shooting an image which is a 2:3 ratio image. I mean, it's a 3 on the longer side and 2 on the higher side, whereas this is a 4:3 image ratio. So the change in the image ratio itself changes fundamentally the way you compose your images. It fundamentally changes the way you create the narrative, and it changes the way you look at the image per se. So all said and done, I think for photographers who are looking for that kind of quality, for photographers who are being paid by their clients to create those kind of images, okay, or who need to get their images printed in billboards or hoardings or newspapers or magazines where detail is everything, Or even in the wedding sector, where you're creating albums and you're creating large format albums. Like the biggest album that we have is almost, I think, 3 feet tall, right? It's 3 feet tall by around 3 feet wide. So it's a huge album. So for those kind of images, when I want to blow it up, there is no doubt that medium format, the GFX images are going to be extraordinary. And I'm like a kid here. I'm really excited about. I normally don't get this way, but sometimes when a new toy comes out and you're looking forward to using that toy, and it sort of makes you really, really excited. So this is definitely one of those moments where I feel that it's a fundamental shift in the way we shoot images. It's a fundamental shift in the way people will shoot images in the future. So no doubt, I think medium format is the way to go.
Ashish sir, your words, because now you've been there almost. Of course, you've been using medium format cameras as well, but you've been using a full frame camera also for a longer time. See, I'm not debate. I also personally feel that every camera is in hand. It's actually good, but in terms of as a accessibility, the usability of it, and the kind of results you can get out in the end, because a lot of people used to have that mindset. It's a big, heavy camera, tripod chahiye, and then proper setting chahiye, then only you can shoot. And we have a camera in any situation and any kind of environment, and you get to the best results you can get from anything, right? So that's what.
Well, I really like the way Arjun put it up about the whole analogy about how it's no more a big deal about the camera's quality. But as I said, this is not a toy. This is a big boy, but very shredded, very lean, very agile. It's not like that big Kali coming into your face. It's almost Jason Statham or Bruce Lee packed in with the same power to pick the punch and take on the world. So I love the fact, the agility and the punch it gives you off, and the strength it carries of any of the older big boys or more. So I personally have experienced variety of medium format cameras, from Hasselblads to I've owned a few of those myself, from Pentax to Hasselblad to Phase Ones. I've shot across different medium format cameras, but this I personally feel this is gonna be my favorite for a very for the coming time. And the quality, Arjun, I tell you what, we'll share the results. Like I was shooting on I tried a full frame with this camera just to compare the results, and I'll share this offline, and you'll be delighted to see the difference. It's certain things you can only make out when you place the same shot next to each other. That's when otherwise it's all hunky-dory. It's a bright, beautiful blue sky out there. So once you reach Leh, you realize what a blue sky looks like. Right?
Yeah. So just wanted to brief about, I just want to repeat all of you guys, the price of GFX100S is being launched at 5,39,999, and we have an amazing offer going on at this time, and please remember that's a specific time. We have a stock till last. It's clearly mentioned. We don't have initial orders are very limited, so it will be till the last stock you have, and you have to register yourself if you want to buy the camera. It's actually like that situation. And so when you want to buy, please make sure that you fill out that form we have initiated, and we will contact you, and we will definitely get you the things. And also right now there is a wonderful offer around 40,000 rupees you can get off with 3 different lenses, which are Arjun told you just now, 110mm, one of the best portrait lens available in the market, and 32-64mm, and the third one is actually 45mm. So all of the lenses they were discussing, they are actually on as a combo available with a wonderful entry, you can say a introductory price offer we have. So go and please check it out, guys. Guys, now I would like to take some questions. We have some nice questions coming in the chat room. So the first one I would take from Abhishek Sakaria. Hey Abhishek, nice to see you here. You're watching. So Abhishek Sakaria is asking to Arjun, how do you find the autofocus performance of the GFX100? It's high, in a high pressure wedding environment. Will you be able to take pictures like that? How you feel that in a very tough situation where your environment is there, how you feel that focusing is for GFX100S?
So honestly, Abhishek, a great question. Autofocus is something that we all are extremely paranoid about. And I'm happy to say that, for the cost of the camera, the autofocus is excellent. I mean, that is something you expect when you're paying, 5 lakh rupees for something. So like Ashish said, this is the Bruce Lee of cameras, it's so it'll autofocus very quickly. The faster than Bruce Lee can do one of his flying kicks. I think it's as fast as that. But seriously speaking, it's got it's got all these new features, which is the eye autofocus and the face tracking and all of that. And those AI, see, I'm honestly old school. I don't use these features. I prefer to do it the old way. But honestly, with these new AI-driven features, added onto what is an extremely fast autofocus motor, I think it's you won't complain. It's very good.
Yes. Thank you. Hi Abhishek, we must have got your answer. So definitely it's one of the good focusing system. See, if you want to compare in medium format segment, it's the par. I mean, it's the best lens focusing system we have in the medium format. Ashish sir, you want to add on something?
Well, as I have already said a lot about the agility of this lens and the camera, I mean the lenses and the camera, I think it's definitely very agile, but you also need to understand the difference in the quality of the imagery. It's not something you would use all the time. It's something that we are artists, but there is an equipment that drives our expression. So this is for somebody who understands the output that you'll get out of this camera. So it's definitely, as I said, it's now got all the power of a big wrestler, while it's like as fast as Bruce Lee. So it's something you'll have to give it a shot, see how you feel about it. I personally feel it's totally taken a huge leap in medium format photography. It's like as easy as using any of your full frame 35mm. So please go ahead and get in touch with Ashwini and try it out yourself, and you'll know.
Thank you. So basically, I have a question from one of the person who's talking about the environment and the size of the film, the images, right? So medium format pictures will be a very high resolution images, and so how one should handle such kind of high megapixel images, especially wedding segment, and of course commercial also. Commercial we shoot a lot of images to get a best shot and everything, the cropping, scope and everything. So can you please brief about that a little bit?
See, honestly, Ashwini, like I said, it depends on what kind of photographer you are. Now, in weddings, and especially because of digital photography today, a lot of photographers follow the spray and pray method of photography, which means you put your finger on the shutter button and the camera goes kach, and kuch na kuch acha niklega, Jai Mata Di, kuch na kuch acha niklega. So honestly, that won't work, okay, with this. Okay, now because your camera is generating 100 bloody megapixels of data with every time you hit that shutter, so that's not going to work. So if you are that kind of photographer, you will have to alter your shooting style, because at the end of the day, when you're shooting with the GFX, what you're paying for is not that high-speed photography, but what you're paying for is the detail in that one great image that you get. So this will teach you anticipation, it will teach you timing, it will teach you about framing your picture correctly and getting your technicals right and all of that. So, so when it comes to data, yes, definitely 100 megapixels is both, what they say, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So this is very true in this case. So 100 megapixels is a lot, okay, which means your average JPEG is probably 20-25 MB. Your raw file, I think if I'm not mistaken, raw compressed was around 100 MB. 100, yeah, around 100 MB raw uncompressed. Raw uncompressed was around 100 MB. I think raw compressed will be a little smaller than that. So when you're generating 100 MB per file, obviously you're not going to want to fill up your memory cards and fill up your buffer too fast. So yes, I think it will make you a better photographer. It will make you anticipate. It will make you wait. It will make you get everything right. And and that is something you will have to keep in mind.
Ashish sir, I would also like to ask you about your way of doing it, because you shooting since morning till evening. So, and I remember when you did this recently, a shoot, almost an entire day you were shooting and, doing that and complete transferring the files to a laptop. So, in terms of overall, because you must have used the GFX100 also, at this moment, I'm sure the Capture One things has not been announced, and so it will come anyway. Eventually, it's going to come. But I want to understand the overall workflow for as a fashion photographer, as a commercial photographer. How did you see? Because we have a wonderful collaboration with Capture One, and I mean that works a very good ecosystem for a lot of photographers. And Capture One is a swear-by software for any commercial or any person who's actually doing commercial photography and thing. So just tell us about that. How's the experience in that sense? How you rate that kind of?
Well, Ashwini, since the time I've been taking pictures with digital format cameras, I've always shot both RAW and JPEG images. Always. I never just shoot RAW. Never. I mean, I only probably shoot JPEGs on if it's a birthday party or something at a friend's place or something. But even then, I mostly shoot RAW as well. So my basic format of shooting is JPEGs and RAW. So JPEGs give me a straight out of the box camera colors and the images that I look at, and it's faster to preview them instead of taking them to a Capture One and kind of converting all the RAW files to JPEGs. For my basic selection, this gives you huge quality JPEGs. So we normally do all our scanning through the JPEGs. I don't look at RAW images till I've done my shortlisting in the JPEG images. And then we kind of keep doing filtering. We go through our process of filtering the images 4-5 times and then kind of shortlist the ones that we like. And after we normally store most of the images in back them up at least in two or three places, and then we kind of start discarding them after a couple of months. We'll keep probably delete the first and we'll just keep the say the first shortlist, second shortlist, and the final shortlist, and discard the unnecessary ones. So that's how it works for me. Like I normally would to put it in starring language, my basic shortlist of images is if I have 1,000 JPEGs, I'll scan them, I'll go through them, we'll do a basic rough selection, we'll star them to 5-star. So then my second selection is I'm left with say 250 or 300 5-star images. Then again we start shortlisting them further, then we do red labeling on them, then we go green label, and final is the blue label. And there are times where we pick up images from, say, for example, I like something of a model in this shot, while the key model is looking better in the other. So then I'll turn that image to yellow. We label it to yellow, and I pull out that image from there and place it with the blue. So this is a basic workflow that we work on. My recommendation, always shoot JPEGs for anybody. It's just easier to...
with the RAW, yes. Also, I would just like to tell people, whosoever is there, if you want to, if you're a little bit darofied kind of thing, high megapixel, how you want to utilize it. So there are options we are giving you in the camera also. We have an option to to crop your sensor size, and you can utilize it still gives you 3:2 ratio and gives you a very good file size, around 50% of the what you use in a full format media format camera. So that the 35mm option crop mode is also option is there if you want to utilize it, which I suggest it's a very, very good option for people who don't want to carry such a heavy file. So that feature is also there in GFX100S. Now I would just like to take some more questions we have, and then we can wrap up quickly. So just answer quickly, and then maybe we can wrap the thing. If it's anything there, then I'll just ask you. So Mr. Abhishek Sharma is asking about regarding the movie shoot and the approved by Netflix. So we see Netflix is a platform where it's not necessary that the camera being approved by Netflix only can be utilized for work. There are films being there on Netflix which are shot on X-E4, X-E3, also in fact X-E2 as well. But it's actually approved as a whole point. But Netflix has some trademarks, some things which they say that okay, this camera we tested and we want to say that this camera is good, and they stamp for it. But in terms of as an overall wise, the GFX100S can shoot 12-bit Apple ProRes, and I think the 12-bit Apple ProRes with such amazing bitrate, you can definitely create amazing cinema quality videos. And I'm sure if you try out with our new generation Primista lenses also, because with the small help of adapters, I mean, you can create something which is only possible with the large format cinema lens cameras, which are very, very expensive, even to rent out also. So that facility with the help of that large format sensor, a lot of people say about this large format, but large format, why we say it? Because of the sensor size, it's biggest from any cinema camera available. That footage actually comes out a very, very cinematic and shallow depth of field you can achieve through this camera. I hope I have answered that thing. So, Swapna, you were asking about the some walkthrough. So definitely, once this camera, we are living in a situation, the digital situation where we could not arrange much of a walkthrough or a test ride kind of things for everybody. We planned so, but we are still on a pandemic situation. We are not clearly that. So we will definitely come to your city, and then you will be able to experience the camera very soon. When we plan a day with GFX100S for you guys in the city. Apart from that, there are some questions about other cameras and everything. So I'm just not taking that. So this session is majorly for the GFX100S. We kept it. My team, Abhishek, Rohit, Saurabh, they all gonna have individual sessions about the entire workflow, entire walkthrough about X-E4, the 73mm lens, and then the launch products we're gonna have. So, this is majorly for the GFX system. Only the last question I want to ask from both of you. Just a sec, Pragna, hi, Arjun, if you have any other. Okay, Arjun, you also there. Oh, Arjun, your team has actually joined and they are also answering the questions. Wow, that's really nice. Okay. Yeah, so there is one question. Photos Wanderer is asking that this camera also allows you to shoot 16 pictures in one go. It's like a pixel shift kind of a technology, and it's a 16-bit file, so it makes it a 400 megapixel file, and that's basically utilized for a lot of reproduction work. Like if you're shooting a painting, you want to reproduce, or any coin, any reproduction, like a lot of archive or museums, they utilize that technology for that. So this camera has that facility to make it the highest level image quality you can achieve with that thing. And that file size, I think it's 1 GB, more than 1 GB. So that technology is available with the pixel shift directly coming. GFX100, we updated with the firmware, but in this camera, we are giving as an initial camera it's coming. So I think at this moment, we finished with the questions we have. I don't see any much questions which are related to the GFX100. So with this, I would like to thank both of you guys to give us your time. And I'm sure people are going to love your work. I think, Arjun, I think our video is already out, I think, and you're going to see that film very soon once we just finish here. And that film will tell you the guys that how amazing this camera can produce the images. The entire video is being shot by X-E4, but the images are being shot with the GFX100S. And Ashish sir, your 80mm project is also about to launch. Today the Anushka's video already announced. So you will see Arjun San's and Ashish San's project on a very, very amazing concept, like with the museum collaboration we're going to see. So these all cameras, the video is going to come very soon. Within the 10 days, I think you're going to have entire thing. Harsheen has also done an amazing pre-wedding shoot with her style and her way of the way she shoots. So I think Harsheen video is most likely we're going to come up with the next. And then the last one with the Ashish sir's video. So those all videos will be telling you the entire things, and images will be also available. If you want to see the JPEG or the raw files, we can see, because these are available with us. So with this, I would like to conclude this Q&A. Thank you so much, Arjun san, Ashish san, for giving us time and being the amazing ambassador for the brand. And we are very happy that we successfully concluded this entire session, and I think we have answered most of the questions for people are asking. But I'm looking forward to see more beautiful images from you with GFX100S. With this, thank you so much, guys. And today it was a great day. I hope you have amazing questions and amazing things to ask. Please leave with the question. We will get back to you. If you have any bookings to be done, please hit that link and then register yourself. We will get back to you, and please be early birder and try to grab that offer which is going to release. So with this, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Abhishek. Really, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait to blow up those big prints.
Looking forward. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.